Hey, hello. So let's discuss the importance of fear in paragliding and fear management techniques, which is crucial, I believe. And we start with watching this video, which shows you different levels of fear and the effect on flying it has. And then we discuss actually some important points related to that and to my actually methods and observations regarding the management of fear. So what's going on here is I got in the very strong lee side. It's pretty strong turbulence. I mean, it's gradually increasing the turbulence. So you may actually see that's why actually you may see my gradually increasing stress levels and the effects on the piloting. So here I'm still kind of like a little bit stressed, so to say, because I'm in the thermal. Everything is fine. I have a plan. Now I got like first signs of lee side or turbulence. I know it's a bit unpleasant, but I know how to deal with this. So I'm pretty confident about this. Now it's getting stronger, and I'm still kind of like managing it. I look in the wings. It's actually my SIV training kicks in. So yeah, I'm still in control. Now the right stabilo line swaps, so the wing is damaged. Very little, but the turbulence level is also rising, and now the hands are still coming up, but now I start to grab the riser. You see on the left side, so my right hand is grabbing the risers, and then actually my braking is way too deep. I'm always stalling the wing. And actually, so my piloting is compromised due to the high stress level. So this is the first element, like of impact of stress on piloting. So basically, that all the training I had, it's kind of like I mean, if maybe if I would have more training, I would be still able to do this better. But I mean, at my training level, I got to the level where this is kind of like a little bit lost, because I'm searching to grab the risers and I'm braking too deep. I don't go with the hands up again as I should. So yeah, you clearly see that the piloting has deteriorated. And now actually there is a thermal, so I turn into the thermal slowly. What happens is that this is a place where there's like exactly in this direction where I fly now, and this is only there. I could land everywhere, I could fly everywhere, and now I get out of the thermal, and I have like this kind of like tunnel vision, I believe, here. Another aspect of high stress levels. So from all of the different directions that I could take, I have taken the worst to fly, because now I fly over water in a very strong descent, up to almost 12 meters per second going down. And and I put myself in the situation I land with the wind. I also stall the wing just before the touchdown. So there is another error in the flying technique due to the high stress. So summing up, I did a lot of SIV and let's say acro SIV training. So the little movements of error at the beginning, I mean, they didn't impress me so much. I mean, Then when the level got higher and the wing got damaged, I clearly started to panic, and you've seen the deterioration of my piloting. My hands were just too low and not doing this full movement to the rollers up and down as needed. And also I got this primal reflex kicking in, like grabbing the risers. This is like like a reflex that you see a lot in the video on this channel. You see the lot, but actually I'm pretty proud of this, that my SIV training brought me to the moment where I start grabbing the risers after the turbulence got pretty strong, and not just when the wing started to move, as the beginner pilots in the other videos do, without the SIV training. But I mean, after some level, when I got beyond the level, what I was prepared for, I do exactly the same as everyone does. And the second element is, so one is the movement of your hands, so like the mechanical skills. It's well-known fact that if you are really stressed, any fine, oh, this is German, any like precise movements with your hands, for example, they are not, you cannot do precise movements actually with your hands, because you know, your basic, when you are really freaked out, your brain just goes back to, you know, some basic skills needed for survival, and all of the sophistication that we humans represent, so to say, it's gone. And you can see it here in this video. And the other important element of this overwhelming stress that you've seen in the video is taking the wrong decisions. So there's this tunnel vision, like you lose, I've lost here the overview of the situation and just went in the place that I fixated somehow, and yeah, and I went there. So yeah, this is basically what has happened here. So now, regarding the stress and my experience, and we start from zero stress. So I fly paragliders, or I do whatever else which has a potential of, you know, of potentially dangerous, and I'm not stressed at all. This is actually the moment where I get really when I get really cautious, because all the accidents I had doing paragliding, but also different sports, they actually happened when I was actually when I didn't feel so, when I was relaxed, and I shouldn't be. So I get cautious when I don't feel any like fear, and so this was the zero level. Now a little bit of fear, I believe this is just optimal thing. So you are alert, and I'm alert when I'm a little bit scared, but still I'm able to think clearly and do everything. Like any manipulations with my hand, I can do them no problem. So it's just a little bit of adrenaline, I believe, and it's a perfect state, because you're ready for what's coming, but you're not overwhelmed with this. And then you get to the high level of stress where it's just overwhelming, and you're starting going to your primary reflexes and start doing lose the precision of the movement of hands, braking, and then also do some bad decisions, basically, due to the tunnel vision, which I believe was the case also in this video. So that was, you see the effects of stress and what I think about the different stress levels. And now let's talk a little bit about the stress management. And actually, from my experience, what has helped me, and from what I heard from the others, what's helping them. So the first, the most important, from my experience, element of dealing with fear and stress is, in this sense, fear is to be exposed to this thing that is scary. So this was actually, no, not the reason why, but this was what I noticed very early by doing SIV. So I went to my SIV after a situation where I lost control, and I freaked out very soon, like after just the very initial phase of loss of control of the wing, and I freaked out and I lost control totally, and then I went to SIV. And I remember I was pretty optimistic actually. The SIV trainer, they asked us what type of wing do we bring in, and I said, oh, I can bring a C wing or a low B wing, because maybe low B is gonna be boring for that. And we started doing some very basic maneuvers, like collapses, training collapses, and keeping the collapse and entering spiral with the collapse. I remember that one pretty well because I was pretty freaking out doing this simple exercise. And of course I did it on the low B, nothing on C, and I was scared like shit. But after having done this for a few times, I got used to this movement. And then I started to train like spin entry, exactly the same thing. At the very beginning, very scared, and then I got used to this. And then stalls, my first stall was pretty unlucky. I got twisted and lost control, and then you may see another video of this channel. So this freaked me out pretty strongly, and that was my first stall, and I was gonna do many of them because before I gained any proficiency in doing stalls. So I was very scared and doing the stalls because I knew it's pretty, in my execution, it was pretty unpredictable actually what was going out of. I mean, like twists basically was the unpredictable part of that. And but then I actually got many of those twists. I threw the rescue parachute a few times, and I got used to this. And so I got more relaxed. Because when I was scared, I was braking hard. I was doing like stuff like braking too hard actually, like, and being pretty stiff with my hands. It's also painful. But then I did many of them. I mean, it took a lot of time, and many stalls. I believe something like 100, 150 probably. Before I got used to stalls, I got used to being twisted. I got used to throwing the reserve, and I got used to spiraling entering spiral in the flyback. I got used actually to being untwisted. So what I mean is, I got exposed to this fear so much, so many times that I kind of like got used to this. And by getting used to this, I regained the control over what I'm doing because the fear stopped to paralyzing me. So exposing myself to these situations that are so scary actually, when you are being thrown around in your paragliding, when it's turning, when you're spiraling down, and when you're twisting and losing control and throwing rescue parachute. Grabbing, then putting wind inside. So just by training this again and again, I got kind of like used to this, and my level of stress got to this optimal level, so to say, where you're alert and you can act, but you're not. It's my actions. They were not compromised anymore by this stress level. So this was the first element, like getting used to the stress. And to the stressful situation, basically, being a lot in the stressful situation. The second thing is that helped me personally to cope with the stress related to paragliding, but not just to paragliding, actually I use it for everything, is to having plan B and plan C, so the decision tree actually. So this I also learned in SIV. I did my first SIV with a very nice and wise instructor actually, who was very methodological regarding doing figures of SIV of Rota. So we always had like this decision tree in our head. We were taught actually to have it so that we were thinking what can happen and what's our response to this, and then going this through, visualizing this like in the head before actually flying. It was much less scary because I knew that I always had a solution. So there was no situation where I wouldn't be able to deal with, and just this understanding reduced my anxiousness and anxiety and stress and fear a lot. And this is, for example, so this was an example of SIV/acro, but also this plan B is important also just for flying in general. So wherever I go somewhere, I try to all the time, I mean, when I go on paraglider like this, I always try to have like a plan B or C. If I didn't understand something, the wind is going from the other direction. What can I do? What options do I have? So that if something happens, so that I'm not less fearful that something happens, because I already know that if it happens, I have a plan B. So I'm ready to go, and that nothing's gonna happen, because my plan B ends with some safe, in some safe location, a safe configuration. Yeah, and the same, for example, going to landing, because there's always this risk that there's going to be a cable or something that you haven't foreseen. So I also, when I choose my place to land, I frequently just compromise, for example, the easy access to the road, or or recovery, and so that actually, so I compromise this, but I don't compromise my option B. So if I go somewhere, I always want to have like another place where I could divert in the case I see something in the last moment. And this also contributes to the fact that I'm much more relaxed landing, in the places I don't know. Yeah. So summing up, this piece of stress is already very long, but I believe this is very important. Is oh, and what I didn't mention is I was before SIV, I was freaking out just by little movements in the thermal. I was already freaking out, and actually I couldn't focus on where I'm going, on more tactical and strategical flight planning, because I was just too focused on the wing movement in the thermals. And after having done all this SIV/acro, the wing may move. You've seen actually you've seen in this video the moment of the wing movement when I start to freak out. Yeah. So the little movements or the normal movements you get, like in the thermal stuff like this, yeah, it just doesn't affect me, because my hands do their job automatically, and so I can still be alert of the bigger picture of what's going on around me, and this also contributes to the safety, and allows me actually also to have less stress, because being more aware about the environment allows me to prepare different plans for different occasions. So this is another aspect, that by getting exposed to the stress, you delay the moment where the stress is overwhelming you, so actually allows you to cope with the situations much better. And then the second element, by having plan B, or just visualizing different possibilities, and be preparing actually for different possibilities that may happen, both during SIV acro, but also during just a flight like this, a cross-country flight or landing. You may actually, this helps me a lot actually to decrease my stress levels, because I feel prepared and I feel ready to, or always safe kind of, like, because I feel that I always have a safe exit from any situation that I'm actually in at the moment, but also the most probable situation that may happen just in the next future. So this was a very long video. If you managed to get to the end of that, yeah, please write a comment. I would be really happy to see if there's anyone watching to the end. And as always, like, subscribe, and yeah, and comment what you think about this, and what means of dealing with stress do you use, and what are your thoughts on that. So, and see you watching another video together.